My name is Albert Marshall Jr. I'm from Eskasoni First Nation. And, after doing some research throughout the country, traveling all over the country and talking to many shop owners and individuals and even legal vehicles all over the place. And I found a gap. Like, I knew we could do this. I know we have a right to trade plants, and I was trying to educate the RCMP. I was trying to educate the chief and council, but it didn't work out. And so they ended up sending the police to me. Well, today it was that province wanted to prove that I broke their Nova Scotia Cannabis Act. And we've been at this since 2020, I believe. And today the Crown, during the weekend, tried to gather up the witnesses, which is RCMP.
Mm-hmm.
And the leading investigator, he's gone indefinitely. And he couldn't get a hold of other witnesses to come testify. So this morning, the Crown presented that and told the judge that we couldn't find any whatever. And then my lawyer says we request a dismissal. The judge reiterated whatever they said and then told me, Mr. Marshall, charges are dismissed and you're free to go. Well, I figured it was about $100,000 for the product. But the leading investigator only marked it down as $10,000. Obviously, my stuff has perished, right? It's been almost 2 years. And I probably won't get that back ever. But, yeah. And in the meantime, when I was operating, or before I even operated, they made a big statement of a letter coming out that nobody's allowed to operate or do a cannabis shop, and Eskasoni is going to do their own cannabis thing. But when I got charged, and there was a big uproar like Facebook and social media on the reserve, so the chief and council decided that they're going to do a community survey on it, like not a survey, I guess a survey to determine if the people want it or not. But it didn't happen. They signed an agreement with NSLC. Outlet to be here, which also will sell cannabis from there. And the big thing was when Chief mentioned it, he mentioned about lost revenue from this because private dispensaries lost revenue to the ban. But yet, they gave the lease to Nova Scotia Legal Commission with zero profit sharing, which is essentially the same thing. There's no profit sharing.
Wow.
Of course, and I'm glad I talked to you guys because I was able to connect with other Indigenous traders, and that's how I was trading from. And that's another thing they use. They use fear. They use fear of Hell's Angel gangs coming in, and then it's unsafe products and so on and so forth. And I debunked that too. There's 10 shops in Eskasoni that are open publicly, but then there's going to be the NSLC store that open up soon that's going to be sold by the province within the community. They're only getting lease payments a year, which is I think is about $60,000 a year in lease.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but I think that's what the number is.
Okay.
But there's no profit sharing. I went from making $5,000 to $6,000 a day to making nothing after I got raided. And then it slowly kind of dropped, and I slowly went up back to $1,000. And then it went back down again because the police would be parked at the end of the driveway, at the end of our street, deterring customers from coming in. And if they did come in, then he would chase them down and stop them and charge them for unlawfully, whatever they charged. I don't know what they've been charged, but people were charged. One individual was charged from he just left my shop, and he got pulled over, not even 500 meters, and he went to court, and his charges were dismissed also. Lack of evidence. I tried to educate them. I tried to teach them about law, Indigenous law, what we can do with it, what we can't do. And I think that, that's how I was silenced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe that's how I was silenced. Shut the hell up. And at the time, it was election time too, right? The wrong election time. Election happened. Nobody bothered me. But as soon as election was over, bam, I got nailed. A few months ago, an article came out by the corporate division here, Eskasoni corporate division.
Mm-hmm.
They made a big statement that anybody who advertises, the cops will be sent to them. So in Eskasoni, nobody advertises anywhere. There's no signs anywhere. There's not even signs on buildings. Yeah, and even though the cops are aware of them, we can't advertise. Apparently, we're still being limited on our inherent right.